So let me ask you, what if your rent was due, let's see, today's Friday. So what if your rent was due on Tuesday? What if, your kids got to eat? What if the light bill was due on Sunday? What if your car note was due on Thursday? Like, what if your spouse needed medicine? How hard would you work? How hard would you go? What would you do? Look, I'm here to tell you guys, there is no other career right now that you can make money as quick and as fast as you can as an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, a gig worker, DoorDash, Amazon, Grubhub, yada, yada, yada. There is no other career, no other field right now that you can go out and make $300, $400, $500 with no experience. All you need is a car, which most of us have. And if you don't have one, you can rent like I do. There's no other place. No other place. If you needed $1,000, you needed $2,000, listen, no other place. You would have to get a job. First and foremost, you got to pass. You got to go through the interview phase. First and foremost, you got to go through the assessments. Then you come to the interview. You got to bring all your documents. They got to scan your documents, approve your documents, go through the interview. Then they give you a start date, which is never the same day. Then they shift it out. Then your start date. Then you got to go through your training. Got to go through whatever couple days of training. And then you work that whole first week, whole second week. You're not going to get paid because it depends on the pay date. Every business has a different pay range. So you might have gotten hired. Even though you might have gotten hired on a Wednesday, the pay range might have cut off on that Friday. So your first paycheck won't be what you actually are making. It'll be some sort of difference. And then, so that first paycheck, and if you get paid every 2 weeks, so you really won't get paid for real until the end of the month. But you signed on for the job, so you got to be able to weather the storm. I mean, y'all know that's how it goes. That's how it goes. When you sign on for a job, you don't know when your pay range is. You don't know. You just don't know until you start the job, because they can put you on direct deposit, because they don't even hand out checks anymore, and they have a certain time frame that they do, the pay range. So listen, I've been through a lot of jobs and it's different days. Sometimes, it's, like I said, I always say the 1st and the 15th or the 10th and the 25th. Those are generally, when you pay it bi-weekly. That's generally how it is. Let me know in the comments if there's some other dates, but those were generally the dates. I think it was a couple times where I got paid differently, but for the most part, it was those 2 dates. And it's like, you got to figure it out. Because it's no, I'm going to give you an advance on your paycheck. No. No. It don't work like that. You got to wait until the 10th or the 25th or the 1st and the 15th. That's it. So for normal people, all of my bills fell around either the 1st, I would pay everything on the 1st, or I'd pay everything on the 25th. There was no in between. I mean, if it was, it really, that was like my money to really get me to the next paycheck. I really, most people really live paycheck to paycheck because, it's coming on the 1st and the 15th or the 10th and the 25th. That was generally my days. It might be some other days, but that's just how it is. But if you're talking about a W-2, you're talking about a regular job There's just no job that you could just say, listen, I need to make $1,000 in the next 3 days. Even with all of the foolishness that we got going on, when you watch the YouTube videos, when you hear people talk about how the rates have been lowered, when you hear people, when you hear people talk about how the offers are trash, when you hear people say, oh my gosh, I'm not getting paid what I used to get paid, I have to work harder, cars are being taken off the platform, all of these things are true. There is no other job right now where you can go out in 3 days and make $1,000 legally. Legally, I should say. Listen, I even come from a sales background, and when you talk about jobs, I mean, just turn the app on, go to work. There's nothing similar to that. Nothing. And it won't be. In terms of, DoorDash, gig work is here for a reason, because it provides a necessary solution. And what's the solution? We all are feeling the pinch of the economy. Nobody's really balling out of control right now. We all are a little bit short on money. We all are a little bit short on bills. We all are trying to make it through. Gig work is right there. Gig work is there, and it fills the gap. So, do I recommend that you should work 84 hours a week, 12 hours every single day, 84 hours a week for 7 days? No. If you don't have to. But I do, if you have to, if you're in a predicament, if you got a situation going on, listen, which we all do, but like if you in that predicament and rent's due in 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. You can't be afraid to work. You got to be willing to, okay, I'm going to turn this app on, and in 12 hours when it kicks me off, that's when I'm going to stop working. That's how you have to be willing to do. You got to be willing to put in that effort. Because if you got a bill, if you got a real situation going on, that's the only way that you're going to be able to pay it. So a lot of people talk from a perspective of, oh, well, the apps suck, yada, yada, yada. But they've never had the app kick them off consistently. And by kick them off, I mean work a full 12-hour day. Most people that you listen to haven't done that. Most people that you hear, they're not going to do that. Because we all live in these walled gardens. It's called a walled garden because it's a separation. It's a separation. If your bills are due, if your kids need Pampers, if something's going on and you need money, in my case, I am paying on my business. I lost I lost a lot of money. But so for me, I'm putting money back into my business to kind of prop it back up. You got a situation, that's what Uber and Lyft are for. That's what gig economy is for. It's not to be a career. This is not a career. In the sense of this is going to be around for the next 10, 15 years. You put in your time and then you get your pension and, no. That's not what this is for. The gig economy is about, this is temporary. You do this for this time frame. For, it's only this period. And now in my case, that period has been for the last 4 years, just because I've enjoyed the freedoms and I got comfortable. But that doesn't mean it's forever. It should never be a forever thing. This should always be a tool in your tool belt, because that all you got to do is turn the app on and you're gonna make money. Turn the app on and you're gonna be able to pay a bill. turn the app on, and you're gonna be able to take care of your family. So it's for a specific time period. Small time period, but it's for a specific time period. And then, just like anything else, you move on. Maybe it's to hold you over. Maybe it's because you're waiting on that job. You know, maybe you're waiting on that job to pay you. So that whole first month where you're waiting on your paycheck, you use Uber, Lyft, the gig economy to kind of fill in the gap. Maybe it's that, hey, you're learning a new skill. You're learning a new abilities. In my case, I was learning how to build websites and apps and stuff, and I was using Uber and Lyft to kind of supplement me while I was learning that stuff. Maybe it's that you're transitioning into a new career field. You know, like I said, I was switching to IT. I was learning more and more how to do it, more official stuff and all of that. I was using Uber and Lyft to kind of hold me over. Or maybe it's just an emergency situation. You got caught up. You had a flat tire. You had this. You had that. But now rent is due. Now you got to be able to pay for, maybe you got a wedding coming up. Maybe you need a down payment. Maybe, the water heater went out. You got an emergency situation. That's what this is for. That is what my channel is all about. If you got a situation, don't work part-time. Again, I can't tell you what to do. I would recommend that you don't work part-time. I would recommend that you don't get into cherry picking. I would recommend that you don't get so high up on your horse that you don't take any rides. Again, I'm just a talking head. I would recommend that if you got a situation and you're doing Uber and Lyft, you come out here and you make as much money as you possibly can. And the only way that you're going to make as much money, well, the best way to make as much money as you possibly can is to take offers, take contracts, as Vinny says. Get people in your car, get them out. That's the best way to make the money. That's it. So, yeah, man, I've kind of rambled. This video is kind of all over the place, but I hope you guys get the message. But yeah, with that being said, I am out of here. I've rambled enough. I hope everybody's making money. And yeah, with that being said, I'm out of here. Deuces.